Amici di The Boat Show, ben ritrovati. È il momento di regatare, lo faremo con grande entusiasmo, passione come sempre. Ciao Antonio.
Ciao Sandro.
Ed è una puntata importante questa anche perché iniziamo una serie, un percorso, The Spirit of Yachting, in collaborazione con una realtà worldwide che è assolutamente legata al mondo dello sport, ma nello specifico alla vela, che è Rolex.
Rolex ha fatto tanto per il mondo della vela, è il main sponsor delle grandi regate d'altura e non solo, anche di tanti altri eventi. Cominciamo oggi con la China Sea Race, ma nel suo carnet c'è la Fastnet Race, che è probabilmente la più famosa, la Middle Sea, la Sydney Hobart. Rolex ha fatto tanto per la vela e continua.
Il Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club, Antonio, che ha 170 anni di storia tra la vela e anche il canottaggio, riporta questa competizione dopo 5 anni di stop. Ricordiamo anche che è un appuntamento biennale.
Sì, è la 61esima edizione. Sai, a quel tempo, quando è nato lo Yacht Club, Hong Kong era territorio inglese, quindi c'era tutta questa grande tradizione dello yachting trasportata in Asia, ed è stato un punto fondamentale per lo sviluppo della vela da quella parte del mondo.
Tutti dicono che sarà una regata estremamente tattica, difficoltosa, ricordiamo, da Hong Kong a Manila.
A Manila. È una zona di grandi bonacce, qualche volta di tempeste, infatti la flotta è partita con 30 nodi, che sono un bel vento, ma poi quando sono arrivati attorno a Manila c'è stata la bonaccia che come sempre mescola le carte.
Che tipo di equipaggi e di barche troveremo?
Ma ci sono un po' tutte le barche, poi si vedrà dalle immagini. La barca vincitrice è un J109, quindi una barca da regata ma sostanzialmente di serie, ben preparata. Sono equipaggi misti, di semiprofessionisti li potrei definire.
Antonio, spoileriamo il vincitore?
Beh, qualcosa ho detto, ma lasciamo che sia il film a raccontarlo.
Va bene, sarà un film interessante, 4 giorni di regata in Asia per iniziare anche noi di The Boat Show questa avventura così particolare. Grazie Antonio.
The Spirit of Yachting. Un programma in collaborazione con Rolex.
因為咧，我日常生活咧就係公司見客應酬，因為我係金融機構工作嘅，所以日常時間都好忙，同埋當然有壓力啦。我哋要交數，要揾 revenue 俾公司。其實溫一間公司咧，同溫一隻船咧都好相似嘅。好相似咩咧？有唔同性格嘅人，有唔同強與弱，唔同嘅ability 能力嘅人喺隻船嗰度。所以我去隻船做嘅嘢係多數做 tactic，令隻船行快啲，揾到啱嘅同 navigator 嘅工作。而我亦都好享受令佢行快啲，令公司揾多啲錢。
Noel is, to put it in one word, flamboyant. Always a smile on his face. Big character. Very friendly, very accommodating. Obviously, like any owner, he has demands. And I guess his mindset has always been from day dot, Matt, just try and make this team more competitive. Yep. We've done a lot of training, we've done a lot of preparation, and now it's time to, get on with the job. Ollie and Roderick on the bow, Tom in the pit, Dan grind, Matt grind, boss man, keep an eye on us.
Pay money and give it out.
Yeah. That's what we like. I'd like to think of myself as being quite patient, but I'm reminded probably every day that I'm very impatient. Come on, let's get, he's under here. Come on, let's go. Take the runner up. Tight. The team is not a professional racing team, but we act as a professional racing team, and the guys have stepped up well. The Rolex China Sea Race is a very special race. We start in Hong Kong, downtown, central, and 1 hour later, we'll be out in the middle of the ocean. And the next time you see land, it's the Luzon Mountains. So yeah, it's 565 nautical miles. It's an iconic race.
Without doubt, the Rolex China Sea Race is the most important offshore race in Asia. It's a blue ribbon event. We are incredibly honoured. After a 5-year absence, it's very exciting. You can feel the excitement around the club and sailors who are taking part. The Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club's been in Hong Kong since the mid-19th century. We have very deep and long roots in this community. Anyone who knows Hong Kong knows that space is a constraint, and like any other institution in Hong Kong, it is for us. We developed the site here at Keller Island about 7 years ago, and that is now finished. We've added a lot more facilities here. This is the 61st edition of the Rolex China Sea Race, so we now have several generations of people who have done this race, and all of us follow in the footsteps of those sailors who used this as a trading route between Hong Kong and the Philippines for centuries. And isn't that continuity wonderful?
Five years in the making, long time to get here, but we're super stoked. Just want to get on the start line, ready to get on with the race.
It was a long wait, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Well, I think when you're starting a race that's close to 600 miles, you should be fairly relaxed about the start, but people don't behave like that.
Here it comes now, heading pressure. Here we go, stand by. How important is the start? Well, start's crucial. It's the thing that seals the deal. Sailing past here all the time. You want your crew to have good mojo, and you want the crew to be dialed in, to keep pushing and racing and competing. Get ready to run into this up here? Yeah, that's the reason why it's important to get the good start. Main on more, main on more. Tom, be ready.
Psychologically, we all want to try and win the start. But my goodness me, this is when we start racing, and that's why we want to sort of win every manoeuvre, every tack out of the harbour. It's very important to us.
They're now beating again. You have a crew and you have a boat working as a well-oiled machine. And to get that machine going, it needs a good push. You have to have your head on a swivel.
Lots of pressure. All the boats are gathering around, trying to figure out how to get off the start in a clean way.
Trim.
Getting out of the harbour is always very tactical. There's lots of tacks, lots of boats. Sometimes there's other vessels, container ships coming through the harbour.
You start in the city. 1 hour later, you're out at sea. Good luck.
Hong Kong and the sea have been inseparable throughout history. And this area has been a gateway for trade and exploration for centuries. In the early 19th century, Hong Kong was still a small fishing town with a population of less than 8,000 people. Victoria was a natural deep water harbour. Ships from China and Asia would arrive in Hong Kong to trade goods despite its relatively small size. The sea has also been a source of inspiration for Hong Kong's cultural traditions. These maritime traditions and customs have become part of Hong Kong's intangible cultural heritage, and they continue to be celebrated and passed on through the generations.
After the Industrial Revolution, the maritime trade in Hong Kong was still developing, but there was no lighthouse to guide the ships to enter Hong Kong water even at night. The British colonial government chose Cape d'Agde as the location to have the first lighthouse in Hong Kong. The Cape d'Agde Lighthouse was lit in 1875. You can see that the arched entrance and the base of the tower, they were all made of marble and they were all handcrafted. So it's not just a functional lighthouse, but a piece of art, a masterpiece. For almost 150 years, with a short interruption, Cape Dagla Lighthouse has been one of the most important aids of navigation for ships entering and leaving Hong Kong water.
For hundreds of years, people have set sail from Hong Kong to explore the region and even further. And as the Rolex China Sea Race leaves the harbour and heads south, the history continues.
On the first 24 hours of this race, we have to make some quite big decisions about whether we're going to point at the finish line, whether you've made a mistake by going too far left, or whether you made a mistake by taking a bit of a punt and going right.
Here, when that moon comes out of the cloud, straight right.
Every day we try and plot our competition, where they are we ahead, are we behind? John and Willie will be leading the charge on that for sure. So it's constantly in our minds as to how we're doing against our competition. And of course, we want to beat them, no question about that.
Making our way sort of slowly back to the rum line, which is out there somewhere. Feeling reasonably comfortable. Most of the fleet have also tacked. It always feels comfortable to be heading back to a rum line and what's the regular tack and course for a Rolex China Sea Race. So yeah, no, it's good. Beautiful evening, full moon. Good sailing all round.
Got a happy go on the horizon, about 4 miles ahead of us. Overall, quite slow progress, and it will be slow progress for the rest of the day. Happy Go is, predominantly a faster boat. It's 5 years newer. I have to offset that with better crew work, better teamwork. And that's what I've been talking to the guys about, and making them believe that they're capable of beating them.
The most important thing is that we get that shift. That's the first signs of that shift will be tonight. At midnight, yeah. But the surprise is the maxi yacht that Centennial 5 says totally, you're just going down the rum line, totally different strategy to everybody else. We'll see what happens, really. Let's do this, let's go for a bit of a head saw change.
The morning of day 2. We've just finished our first night at sea. It was a fairly consistent breeze. We were running around 6.5 knots and had about
7 knots sometimes.
7 knots of top speed.
Sometimes 8. And now we will have breakfast.
We know each other so well and we've been sailing so much, so at least we respect our decisions quite a lot. It's a very good combination.
Ça va revenir de la droite là? Ça revient de la droite?
Ouais, ça revient de là-bas.
Every father and son relationship is a bit different, but for us it's very pragmatic, very just realistic, rational. We do what's got to be done.
This year we have decided he's officially the skipper of the boat. Okay, time is changing. I'm getting older, he's getting younger, older as well. Oy, oy, oy.
I think most people's image of Hong Kong is the skyline, it's the skyscrapers, and it's the dense markets and the hustle and bustle. But in fact, that's a small proportion of Hong Kong. 30 minutes away, you're in the natural environment, which can be either on the coasts or in the mountains, in the hills, on the hiking paths and trails. So from that point of view, I think people don't appreciate just how natural a lot of Hong Kong is. We have 0.05% of the coastline of China. But within that, we've got 25% of the species which you can find there. And you can see that's an amazing marine biodiversity in an incredibly small area. And that really does hit home the need for us to try and protect that and to actually make it sustainable for the future. What we're trying to do is find a way of translating our science so that we can engage with the local community. And so we're looking to link with different groups in Hong Kong, for example, with the Maritime Museum, with the Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club as well, to bring these groups together to help sustain our coastal systems. One example which we're working on with the Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club is to actually use the paddle club to go out to place little data loggers on the shore. We'll be able to follow the patterns of change in the thermal environment in the next 2 to 3 years and provide a data set for how shores are warming up and what those potential impacts might be. Hong Kong was built on its marine environment. It's its cultural heritage, if you like, and that has to be important. But secondly, the marine environment and the species in it are vital for the health of our city. The time to actually act is now. We need to be doing something to start to protect this marine biodiversity and our marine environment to help sustain our oceans for the future.
Si dice che la distanza più breve tra due punti sia una linea retta. Ma in una rotta nautica intervengono fattori impossibili da controllare. Venti capricciosi, correnti insidiose, onde possenti. Forze così poderose si affrontano solo con volontà incrollabile, grande esperienza e un formidabile intuito. Per perseguire i traguardi più ambiziosi, per trovare le risorse più nascoste, con passione, con furia e con umiltà. Quindi la rotta che ti porta da dove sei a dove vuoi arrivare non è mai una linea retta, eppure il più delle volte è quella giusta.
We are three on board, I mean us two plus Bob on the pilot, you know. Bob is our autopilot and he's working all the time, he's fantastic, that guy, you know. As long as you feed him power, you know, it's okay.
The GPS?
Yeah.
It should be on.
You think so? That's not what we want. Yeah, no, it's not coming on. Come on, boy.
We have to respect the race. We have to realize that anything can go wrong, and that's where my dad comes in to be able to repair just about anything.
I show you our new autopilot, since we have no more autopilot, and he is the autopilot. And say hello. Good. He's got no time to say hello, it's too busy right now, you see.
Oh, my dad's quite a cool guy. In tense situations though, because sometimes gets a little bit too panicky, and I'm much calmer.
I hate when something doesn't work properly. So that's what it is, basically. I'm not yelling against him, I'm against the boat, you know, because the boat is not going what I want to do.
You know, conditions aren't easy here. The challenge is there for those who haven't been offshore at all. I mean, I tell the guys you're fighting in the trenches, and I'd like them to fight in the trenches the entire way to Subic. It doesn't stop until we finish, and yeah, game on.
個風浪比較大，頂浪頂風，hard pitting， 咁啊係揈得緊要嘅隻船，但係問題我哋想短啲路程，咁啊對手咧就行緊去下啲嘅 roam line， 所以佢哋翻轉頭嘅路程咧係比較遠啲嘅，所以我哋覺得呢次我哋應該係揾咗啱嘅路線。
It's now 6 p.m. day 3 of the Rolex China Sea Race. We expect this wind to build a little bit overnight, and we are very much hoping that, as predicted, we carry this breeze and a bit more all the way through to the mouth of Subic Bay. Fingers crossed, eh?
Hey, the white knuckle ride, Willie. We're looking to you.
Come on, Wind. Come on, baby.
So in the first 2 days, we had a lot of gain from the other competitors. The moment that we had the opportunity of going south, we went south. We're so happy about the whole thing. It's such a fantastic feeling because it's the first time that the Philippine boat won the Rolex China Sea Race, line owners. And we're so happy that we were given the opportunity to be able to express ourselves. Thank you.
We've gone from 30 knots of wind and 30 knots of boat speed to 0. It's a pretty big roller coaster ride today. The guys have put in a gallant effort, so we'll just keep pushing to the end. There's a lot of small boats going to be coming up behind us. For us at the moment, we first think about being the first TP52, and the second target is then class, and the third target would be something overall. So let's see what happens.
All right, here we are on the last night of our Rolex China Sea Race, father and son. It's been a great event for us, really all sorts of conditions, very light, very windy. We got up to 35 knots last night in wind speed.
Super fast, just incredible.
It's been very fun.
Yeah, we broke a lot of things, you know, one autopilot, one alternator, one plastic bag in the boat,
big black bag around the keel,
one computer, one spinnaker, one foil, so many tack line, and I might have forgotten a few things, you know.
So it's been super eventful, and hopefully we can get a little bit of breeze just before night sets completely in to get us across the finish.
Tagline needs to come down. Take over port, lazy kai sheet.
Lovely way to watch the sunrise. Woo!
Finally!
Of course, Happy Go was direct competition to us, and we had a bit of a battle with them, and then managed to get ahead and get a healthy lead, and then we were totally becalmed. Competition could see where we went in, and unfortunately that cost us. Of course, we would have wanted to have that second place on the line, but Noel and the team of Rampage can be proud of a podium finish. It was a very fulfilling Rolex China Sea Race.
但係今次就爭少少啦。咁有時玩船都講運氣嘅，唔係話下你想點就點嘅。但係盡咗力㗎啦，我每一秒1分鐘我哋啲 crew 都好盡力，係非常之開心嘅。希望出年可以再嚟過啦。
We found our Lamberries and tacked over, and we're now pointing to the finish line, and so pretty happy. We've still got a while to go. We've got 35 miles or so to the finish, but it's a winning manoeuvre. The opposition didn't do that tack, and they're now parked up, so we're pretty pleased with ourselves. It's been a good morning so far. May it continue.
right, so we just crossed the finish line here in Subic Bay. It's beautiful weather. We're currently second place in IRC overall, which is great. If Whiskey Jack doesn't perform so well, then we might have a chance at first place.
Seriously? Why did that Nick repeat?
It says number 1 is Whiskey Jack. Finished.
Almost worth saying.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for the help, mate. Really good.
Thank you. Let's do it again.
Right, stand by to receive beer. I can always count on Willie to pick up the beers.
Well done, Willie.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
The crew is complete. We have everyone on deck, excited to cross the finish.
For line owners, standard this year in Central 5, Eston and House. IRC overall, the first place to Whiskey Jack and Nick Sullivan.
It's just one of the most sensational sailing experiences, I think. We've done it, we've achieved it, we've done what we set out to do. Yes, it was tough, but boy, what an experience.
Next time, SailGP reaches its thrilling finale in San Francisco.
The Spirit of Yachting. Un programma in collaborazione con Rolex.